lovelies. Firstly, thanks for tuning in. And secondly, today I will be talking about why I love wrestling and how I started watching. So I started watching wrestling at a very young age. I think I was about maybe 5 or 6, but I didn't really start watching then. My uncles had it on and I was aware of wrestling, but I wasn't into it at all. I remember seeing Undertaker at the time. He had a ponytail and he was the American badass at the time. So I remember seeing him, but I wasn't into it until maybe I was 7 or 8, and then I started joining them and watching, and it became this bonding activity for the whole family. At the time, I'm not sure how far behind we were with the airing. I think maybe a month or so. We had this retro TV, old TV, that only broadcasted black and white. And I grew older, obviously we got color TV, and I could see them in color, live in color. So I first started watching when I was quite young, and I just never stopped, even when everybody else outgrew it. My brothers, my uncles, they stopped watching because they grew older and they just had other things to focus on, but I stuck to it. I think I've been watching for, oh my word, almost 20 years, almost there. Just a few more years and then it will be 20 years. It was my one thing that I really loved, and that's how I made friends. I feel like the first thing I would normally speak to people about was wrestling. I was generally quiet when I was younger, so wrestling was the one thing that would bring me out of my shell, because it was something I loved and something I could talk about because I knew about it, because I watched it each week and I studied the characters. I used to Google the profiles of all the wrestlers at the time, their names, their birthdays. I had this little book with all of their information in. I think I threw the book away. But I also used to collect pictures in the magazines. That it was a weekly magazine, so that this wrestling section, so I would tear it out and put it in a file. I will show you guys. I still have my files. I don't have the heart to throw them away because they are memories. I also have this poster I made a while back, and it's so weird just looking at it. I don't have to throw it away either. But I mean, yes, John Cena, Batista, Jeff Hardy, I forgot to mention him, Tori Wilson, Randy Orton, Eddie Guerrero. As you can see, I literally got every little picture I could find of a wrestler in the magazines. The smallest, the largest, anything I could find, just so I could have something physical of them. Honestly, being a wrestling fan as you grow older sort of makes you feel like a unicorn, because it's just not that many people. Yes, there are thousands, millions of wrestling fans, but not many people speak about it openly or treat it as a fandom. Not sure, my first favorites were Kane, Undertaker. Triple H was an evolution at the time when I started watching, so I loved him because he just looked gorgeous. He was my first ever crush. It wasn't a boy band, it wasn't any singer, it wasn't some person on TV, it was him. Triple H was my first celebrity crush, and still have a soft spot in my heart for him. And then Shawn Michaels and Batista and Eddie Guerrero, of course. Love for the Woman came a bit later when I was older. Melina, I loved her. Melina, Kelly, the Ballet Twins, and Ashley Massaro. I loved her so much. I just loved how different she was with a punk attitude. I was a really big fan of her. Also, side note, how do you guys feel about Roman changing his theme song? I was really sad when I first heard it, because to me it felt like the end of the Shield era once he changed his song, because obviously none of them have it anymore, so it made me really sad. I'm sure it helps with the change of his character and stuff, but it really made me sad. to hear they had a new song, but I'll get over it. But let me know how you guys felt about that. My current favorites are, okay, I have quite many because I love so many people, but my main favorites are definitely Elias and Roman Reigns. Those are my top two. Even if I miss this, I'll make sure I check in on what happened with him. Bray Wyatt as well, I've loved him since his Wyatt family days because he just had this way of hypnotizing me with his words, and I always loved that about him. The woman used to be the iconics. I'm so sad they are gone. Alexa Bliss, she's everything. I just love her so much. She can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm a blissful follower. Baron Corbin, I loved him as well. I also love Kevin Owens. I'm probably just forgetting right now, but there are so many that I love. Wrestling is very special to me because it's brought me out of a lot of tough days in my life. I would have bad days at school, bad days at university. I would just be emotionally drained and depressed, and then I would turn on wrestling, and it just made me feel better. I can't explain it to anybody that doesn't watch wrestling or get that feeling, but that's what it means to me. It made me laugh, smile, cheer, go full fangirl mode, and never been that girl that's all into the boy bands. And my boy band was The Shield and Evolution. Those are my boy bands. Allowed me to bond with family. I remember while everybody outgrew it, I used to watch in my granny's room. So we ended up watching together, my granny and my little brother who's still into wrestling. We would watch together and just she would cheer on her favorites. Her favorites were hardly ever mine. She loved Dean Ambrose. She hated Brock Lesnar while I loved Brock Lesnar. But we would cheer for them, and she would cringe at the bloody parts and the real violent parts, but she still enjoyed it with me. And she passed away in 2018, and I remember the last pay-per-view we watched together, or she didn't watch it really, she came at the end, near to the end, and then it was, I think, Charlotte and Becky. I'm not sure if it was a triple threat match or what, but I remember she came in and then she asked, isn't that Ric Flair's daughter? And then I was like, yes, it's Ric Flair's daughter. And then then we spoke about it while the match was going on. That's my last wrestling memory with her, but I have so many wrestling moments that I could share in with them, and that's what I love. If it wasn't for wrestling, I wouldn't have met my best friend. And I went to the same high school, but we only became friends when we started talking about wrestling, and that I think was in grade 9 and more so in grade 10. So our friendship honestly grew and became solidified through wrestling because of both of our loves for wrestling. And I stopped watching wrestling when I first got to high school, and then I started watching, I think, when the Shield was more prominent. Yeah, Shield and Roman Reigns brought us together. Wrestling is much more than just wrestling, honestly. It allows us to connect more with each other. And like I said, it brought me closer with my family, and it also helped me gain friendships because of that love. Not many people knew I loved wrestling until after the live event, because I posted it everywhere. I was so crazy. That's when I think a lot of people realized I was a wrestling fan, and now I just post if I feel like posting about wrestling, whereas before I was sort of ashamed and I was thinking, oh my word, they probably think I'm so weird because I'm in my 20s and I'm still obsessed with wrestling and stuff. But I mean, if it makes you happy, then who cares? Because we all have different things that brings out the happiness in us, and wrestling happens to be one of the top reasons for my happiness. I haven't found anything besides writing that brings me that. Really just depressed and really down is when wrestling couldn't make me smile, and that happened while I was grieving my grandmother's death. I wasn't enjoying wrestling. I would just stare at the screen and just feel so numb, and that's how I truly can say I was just not okay. But then Elias brought me back. Honestly, rooting for him helped me. It was very therapeutic. So wrestling is therapy as well. Sometimes you just watch it because it's wrestling and it's on TV, but other times it just allows to bring it brings you out of whatever circumstance you're in, and you can just forget about everything around you. And that's how I felt at the live event as well. It's like reality wasn't there, it was just me in my dream and my restless. Thank you for watching and listening to my reasons as to why I love wrestling, and let me know if you have any special stories with wrestling, how old you were when you started watching wrestling. Let me know what it means to you. Stay tuned for more videos to come.